Alright, guys, I think we are live. I am going to, real quick, check up on this. Let me go ahead and get that down. Alright, cool. We should be live. We should be good. We are good. We are good. Alright, guys, so I do have the chat um, on the side. It should be in there, as well as I am going to be streaming. Obviously, that's what I'm doing right now. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I know, just real quick, a few announcements. I do appreciate everybody showing love to the Bible verses every day. That is something that I am committed to, and I will be creating a short every single day. As long as I'm in an area where I can upload a short, I will upload a Bible verse a day, so that then we can continue this consistency of making it a priority that you guys see a Bible verse a day. And it's just something I want to do. I feel like God's using me. Didn't want to get off track with that. Just wanted to throw that out there really quick. It was a quick segment. Anyways, we are going to get into sports talk with Atlanta and seeing that we are going and uh, we are going to be live clearly. I do have the chat on the side. I'm looking at it from my perspective, so then we are good. Ian Cunningham has been announced as the general manager. I do not know a whole lot about this, so we're going to find out for ourselves when it comes to what he brings to the table and what to be looking out for. So what they say right now, a member of two Super Bowl winning front offices, Ian Cunningham, has been named general manager of the Atlanta Falcons after meeting with the Falcons leadership, including owner and chairman Arthur Blank. Thursday in Atlanta, Cunningham arrives in Atlanta after 4 seasons, 2022 through 2025, with the Chicago Bears as an assistant general manager, with his time in Windy City culminating in the Bears NFC North title in 2025. Cunningham will report directly to the team's president of football, Matt Ryan. Guys, I'm super ecstatic for the fact that Matt Ryan is a part of this process. I'm just excited that Matt Ryan's in the front office in general. I know I haven't really talked too much about that, and one of the things that I really wanted to say was obviously Matt is probably going to go down as the Falcons' greatest Atlanta Falcon to set foot on the field. Now, I will say, obviously, you got Julio Jones, you got a few others, and obviously the future is very bright. But what Matt Ryan is doing right now is something to behold, right? You have basically, I would say, he might not be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I believe that. So you'll have a Hall of Fame quarterback in this role as the president of football, and I'm super excited about it. I'm hoping that Matt Ryan can definitely go, and I hope he has more interactions specifically towards uh, being a part of the process with Michael Penix, and I'm hoping that Penix can bounce back. I see a lot of hate towards him. I see a lot of people saying that Michael Penix shouldn't have been picked at number 8. He shouldn't have been picked at all, and that our team is, going to struggle, and we're still in the quarterback market. Me personally, I want to put that to rest. In my personal opinion, I don't think Michael Penix should be in the market of. I don't think Atlanta should be in the market of trying to find a quarterback. We already have a quarterback on the depth chart, and not to mention Michael Penix went 9 for 3. And when people try and compare Michael Penix to Kirk Cousins, there's a 2% drop off in completion percentage and Michael Penix had less games played than Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins threw one more interception, same amount of touchdowns, and only 2% difference in completion rating, and he's a 13-year vet. So when you put all that together, yes, did he play? Did Kirk Cousins get Kyle Pitts the ball? Yeah, he did. But when is that really more towards the fact that Drake London was out and Kyle Pitts was put in that number one role? I mean, what are we talking about right now? So that's kind of why I'm big on asking that question of whether or not that's the case. By the way, if you guys want more Atlanta Falcons sports talk, uh, make sure to show some love on this. I might even start a podcast where you guys can listen to me in the car, and then you guys can just, casually just hear my thoughts on it. I love listening to 92.99 The Game. Those guys are dogs, man. I watch them or I listen to them every single morning. They know their stuff, and I'm just giving my personal opinion on it as a fan of the game. I know they are fans of the game as well, but they obviously have insider information. And I just want to use this channel. Obviously, I am a gaming channel, but I just want to use this channel to be able to promote my beliefs, my gaming, and then just the simple fact that you guys can come to this channel and listen to a fan's perspective of the game, and maybe even be able to hear more on that. I'm not trying to make this channel all sorts of different things, but on the other hand, I am going to use my platform and talk about it. Anyways, we're going to get back to speaking about the Atlanta Falcons. We have some good things. He said, let's see, and it's truly an honor to be the general manager of the Atlanta Falcons. I couldn't be more thankful to Arthur Blank, Matt Ryan, Greg Beatles, and Josh Blank, which is Arthur Blank's son, and the entire search committee for believing him, he said Cunningham. As a Falcons fan growing up in Roswell, when the Dirty Birds were rolling, the Braves were on fire, and this city was hosting the Summer Olympics, I lived the passion of the Atlanta sports fans, and I can't wait to be a part of bringing that fire and energy back to this city. It's been incredible to build a relationship with Matt over the last several weeks and to have an immediate connection with Kevin. I can't wait to work with both of these great football minds to put a team on the field everyone will be very excited about. We all share the same vision for what the Atlanta Falcons should be, should and will be, and it's time to work. This man seems like he is definitely committed to trying to get Atlanta, rolling. And it sounds like he was actually a fan at one point, so that also kind of plays a role into it, man. You want somebody that genuinely cares about the club in a whole, and it seems as though he grew up as an Atlanta fan, and he knows what this city's about. So I'm hoping Big Dog here can get it rolling. Something I wanted to speak on, so we're just going to leave this like this. I have sticky notes of the information that I wanted to speak on about Kevin Stefanski. I know that we started talking about we started talking about Ian Cunningham. I know he just got announced on January 29th, so yesterday he got announced the general manager, and so that's one reason why I wanted to speak on that. So Kevin Stefanski, something that I definitely wanted to speak about to pull off high quality film study. The Y zone versus the pistol trap. The fact in 2025, the Falcons' previous regime ran a massive amount of pistol formation and 3 to 4 yards behind the center. I'm hoping that we can get away from pistol. I think pistol isn't the problem. I do believe that pistol is annoying. And watching the games, when you're watching them run pistol, I believe in what other people were saying that Bijan Robinson is more comfortable in pistol along with Michael Penix, and Michael Penix being able to see the field better. But I'm hoping that Kevin Stefanski and the quarterbacks coach can get Michael Penix in a situation where he gets comfortable in being in single back and under center completely, and really being able to get up to that get up under center and being able to run that single back tight, and being able to do duos and all that, so that then we can have kind of like that Matt Ryan regime back, where you have a quarterback that can run under center effectively and make it to where you're looking at it as we're running single back, let's just say 60% of the time, and shotgun 40% of the time. And so you have a 60-40 split where you're running the ball 60% of the time, and 40% of the time you're passing. That alleviates Michael Penix a little bit of that pressure. I don't think it'll be a 60-40 split. It'll probably be like a 60 or a 55-45 split of running and passing. But another thing too, we have so many different questions, right? We have questions about who is going to be going into free agency. Is Kyle Pitts coming back? I'm really hoping, for my sake, I really hope that Kyle Pitts comes back. I think Kyle Pitts is a dog, and I truly believe that the previous coaching staff didn't know what to do with him. The coaching staff before him didn't necessarily know what to do with him. And one of the things that I truly believe is, instead of going and signing a receiver, why don't you kick Kyle Pitts out to wide receiver and you go draft or sign said tight end? A tight end that people were talking about that they wanted blocking / receiving tight end. Go sign that and keep Kyle Pitts out there at wide receiver. You'll just have another Drake London on the outside, and maybe you go and sign a slot receiver where he's faster, right? You have a slot receiver that's faster and able to go and be able to have that kind of speed. And by the way, guys, if you guys do want to join me in speaking on this, let me know in the chat, and just get with me in the chat or comments. Shoot me some information. And I will try and get you in like a Google call or something where we can just talk Atlanta Falcons sports. Just so then, it's not just me talking to the camera, it's me talking to somebody else, and then we can get somebody like that. Another thing is to Discord, right? We can get into a Discord call, and I will figure out how to make have your guys's voice in there, so that then we can do that. Just wanted to throw that in there. So, under center, the defense can't tell the difference between a wide zone handoff and the play action bootleg until it's too late. Moving Bijan from the pistol to a true I form or single back look under center will make the cutback lanes 10 times more dangerous. And so that's something that we want. We want somebody that really we want to have single back in there. I formation. Like, where is the I formation? I haven't seen that. We didn't run I formation at all. I'm pretty sure we ran weak a couple times. I think weak and strong, which is cool, but it's not I formation. I formation, I do think we do need to pick up a fullback as well if we're going to run I formation. I don't want to see Tyler Algier blocking for Bijan Robinson when Tyler Algier is your backup running back for now until free agency hits, and if we re-sign him or we don't re-sign him. If we don't re-sign him, who is going to be the backup to Bijan Robinson? That is the key question that we need to be asking ourselves. Just to kind of continue with this Kevin Stefanski talk, Kevin Stefanski, obviously, I don't mind the squeaking or anything. That is my chair. Anyways, Kevin Stefanski with Nick Chubb volume stats, the fact that Nick Chubb averaged 1,000 yards in every full season under Stefanski is most importantly, or very important. But not only that, most importantly, Nick Chubb's yards per carry was over 5. Because of the scheme creates horizontal displacement, stretching the defense sideways. So basically, they run a wide zone, which also makes it easy for our scheme when we have lighter offensive linemen and they're able to get off the ball quicker. You have two guards that are considered elite in athleticism, so we need to utilize that. I'm hoping we can do that. And I know you guys can't see my notes, but I am speaking from different stats and statistics. Bijan Robinson comparison led the NFL in missed tackles with 117 in 2025. This past year, 117 missed tackles. This dude is a dog, and we know that as Atlanta fans, right? But just to showcase that number, 117 missed tackles. This dude sometimes can be compared to Barry Sanders in certain senses, and I don't think I'm far off for saying that. I know he has a lot to prove, and Barry Sanders went for 10 years. I think Bijan Robinson can do the same as long as he can stay healthy, and that's something that we should look at. Another thing, if Stefanski can get Nick Chubb a power back to 5 yards per carry, imagine what he can do with Bijan's elite contact balance in space. We aren't just looking at a 1,500 yard season, we're looking at an MVP caliber efficiency. And I think this past year, Bijan was already in that talk. And obviously, he earned himself a first team All Pro, which, mind you, this dog is, able to have that. If he can do it with a lackluster coaching staff, and I'm not trying to shoot shots at Raheem, but when I got behind the Raheem regime at the start, but when we came out and we did the same thing in the first year and we fell apart, it went, what was it, 7-10? And we're looking up and we're like, we started 5-2 and we ended 7-10. We got 2 more wins in a 9-game stretch. It's embarrassing, man, and it hurts to be a Falcons fan. You look at that and you're like, what am I supposed to do? Just getting into this, I spoke about Kyle Pitts earlier, and I really wanted to speak about him a little bit more here. Kyle Pitts in the 12 personnel dilemma. The fact that Stefanski loves 12 personnel, 1 running back and 2 tight ends. In Cleveland, he helped David Njoku emerge as a top-tier threat by using him as a move tight end. The conflict, Kyle Pitts is currently a free agent as of January 2026. Stefanski recently called himself a tight end. I don't even know. Aficionado? Anyways, at the Senior Bowl, fueling rumors that the Falcons will re-sign Pitts to a prove-it deal. These rumors, I'm hoping, are true. I'm hoping that Pitts can be signed to that. If I'm being completely honest, I think you just signed Pitts long-term. Look, you signed Pitts long-term. You signed him to a cheap deal. And it looks like it's a massive deal if you did it over 6 or 7 years. I know. I'm not trying to use those numbers, but anyways, you sign him to a long-term deal, right? He's 24 going on 25, I believe. He's born in 2000, so anyways, I think he's going on 25. You sign him to a 7-year deal, it puts him at 33, 34. And I know that sounds old for a tight end, but usually tight ends last pretty long. You pretty much sign him now when he's not necessarily considered elite, and you make him to where you sign him to that deal long term. Now, would he sign that? That's a question for us to look at that. And then obviously he would probably try and renegotiate his contract, whether or not later on down the road. So I would assume that they would try and sign him to this prove it deal, and then they would look back at what he did with Stefanski's system, which I'm not necessarily mad about. I think Stefanski's system and having Kyle Pitts in there should be something that we look at specifically because Stefanski, again, having David Njoku, David Njoku is a faster tight end, and so with Kyle Pitts, maybe we do have him in that situation where we either kick him out wide or we do keep him as a tight end, but we use him as that receiving tight end and we utilize him in that sense. I'm definitely for it. In this system, the tight end isn't just a pass catcher; they are a hinge of the run game. Will Pitts be willing to block more to stay on the field, or will Stefanski bring in a rookie like Harold Fannin Jr. to be a favorite toy? Now, here's the thing with that. I don't know this player. Maybe we can look him up. Actually, we'll look up Harold Fan Jr. just to see what kind of numbers he does. We'll see what kind of numbers he does. Let's see. He had 731 yards and 6 touchdowns. Let's see. He's 6'4", 241. So a little bit. No, he's about the same size as Pitts, just not 6'6". But the same weight. Actually, Pitts is 4 pounds heavier than him. Pitts is probably actually lighter than 245. He's probably lighter than that. His playing weight. A lot of these guys end up shredding down throughout the season. It looks like he was a rookie. Yeah, he was a rookie. So I don't know if they would bring him in. Shows he's questionable. I don't know. Would they bring him in? I don't think so because he was a rookie last year. So I don't think unless they just unsign if they trade for him or something. I don't think they're gonna trade with him having 72 catches for 731 and 6 touchdowns. I just don't see that happening. But I could see them, drafting a rookie tight end if they wanted to in the later rounds and seeing whether or not they can make a tight end controversy. But I don't necessarily see that completely happening. And in that same sense, what's the point of bringing in a guy like that? If anything, you bring in a veteran tight end. You sign a veteran tight end for a minimum deal kind of thing, and you try and have a veteran tight end replace Kyle Pitts as a tight end, and you kick Kyle Pitts out. I truthfully believe you kick Kyle Pitts out. Darnell Mooney was a shell of himself, dropping passes left and right, and we wonder why Michael Penix wasn't going to Darnell Mooney near at that time, right? He was a shell of himself. He wasn't making catches, and even the easy ones where he was wide open, he wasn't making the catches. So it's hard to justify keeping Darnell Mooney. Maybe you put him in the slot and you put Kyle Pitts on the outside. Now you have Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney in the slot, and then you go and draft a tight end or bring in a veteran tight end and draft for defensive line and offensive line. Maybe maybe you go and draft an offensive lineman that can replace Caleb McGarry, because Caleb McGarry, I want to say, is in his final year of his deal after this year, I think 2026 is his last year on his deal. So you look at that too. There's multiple different things that we have to look at. Another thing that I wanted to point out was what is the ceiling for Michael Penix? Is it Warren Moon? You know, the fact that Stefanski's system is famous for moving quarterbacks efficient by simplifying their reads. He won Coach of the Year in 2023 with Joe Flacco as a pocket statue. Kirk Cousins, wink, wink, and then with Baker Mayfield, which Baker Mayfield has some wheels. Michael Penix has some wheels. Michael Penix runs a 4.4. And so you look at that and you ask yourself, what is, what are you looking for? So the strategy as well, right? The scheme uses deep crossers. These routes that go for horizontally across the middle, 15 to 20 yards, exactly where Michael Penix excels his frozen rope arm strength. This dude has a cannon, and people forget that Michael Penix is a dog. This dude in Washington was a dog. And people also forget, people like to point out that Michael Penix gets injured a whole lot. Michael Penix was in Indiana before, this coaching staff that's there now. He was in Indiana, and he was a run-first quarterback. When you have a run-first quarterback, they tend to get injured. Look at Michael Vick. Michael Vick got injured a lot over the years. And people forget he didn't have season-ending injuries, but he did get injured a lot. He had a broken leg, I want to say, at one point in Michael Vick's career. He had, multiple injuries throughout the season and being a running quarterback. That's what happens, same in college. And so, yes, he tore his ACL to a non-contact injury. Stuff happens, man. And it was his opposite knee. I'm not saying you're trying to defend whether or not Michael Penix is going to be the guy. But on the other hand, I'd rather be more hopeful towards somebody's future than being like, he didn't work out, time to go. Because if we're doing that, we're no better than the Cleveland Browns. We're no better than New York, the Jets. So if we're never allowing a quarterback to develop and we're never allowing them to shine, or this dude goes 9 for 3 and we're trying to kick him out the door, and yet we just had a quarterback 2 years ago that his name was Desmond Ridder, and he went 12 for 12. And he really had, 15 turnovers because he had 3 fumbles that season? And we're trying to kick a dude out the door because he's injured? What are we doing? And not to mention, Kirk Cousins threw 17 interceptions last season. Last season. Technically, we're still in this past season because the Super Bowl's coming up. By the way, go check out my short to go and vote on who you think is going to win the Super Bowl. Definitely been enjoying seeing the votes come in for that short specifically. And then also MVP. I also have another short speaking about the Cleveland Browns, speaking about Shedeur Sanders. Does he deserve a Pro Bowl? He went 7 for 10 in the season. It kind of makes the Pro Bowl look like the 7-time Pro Bowler and Julio Jones. Why are we even making Pro Bowls at this point, right? That's kind of where it comes down to, and it's frustrating in that point. Anyways, just to keep it going, right? Another talking point is Penix doesn't need to be a scrambler in this offense. He needs to be able to be a point guard. Stefanski's boots and play-action shots are designed to give Penix wide-open windows that utilize his elite velocity. So being able to hit people in stride and be able to throw it on a tightrope is something that can be utilized. Kirk Cousins cannot throw it on a tightrope, and I'm sorry for you Kirk Cousins supporters. He's not the guy. The dude has a noodle for an arm, and I am sorry to say that. I don't care if I'm talking in a sense where you guys don't like to hear that. He has a noodle for an arm. I am sorry. It is what it is, fam. I'm truly sorry for, hurting your guys' feelings saying that, but that is the case. So another thing, going off of that, right? Let's go on ahead and let's continue this. Should I move? I might end up moving my my camera here, just so you guys have maybe a little bit bigger of a picture here, so you guys can really see me a little bit more here. There we go. I think that will be bigger in the computer. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, I'm going to get back to the notes. I just want to adjust that a little bit. Maybe you guys can see me a little bit bigger here, so then you guys can connect with me a little bit more. Apologies and getting ADD, I guess. Okay, let's get back to it, right? Here we go. So the under center, right? The under center shift. Under the 2025 regime, the Falcons were bottom 10 and under center snaps. And by the way, they were probably the last. They were probably 32nd in under center snaps when it came to Penix. I don't think he took a single under center snap. I truthfully don't remember. And if they did, it might have been one of those times where he fumbled because he got stepped on, I want to say. I think that was a thing that ended up happening. The under center shift, though. Under the 2025 regime, the Falcons were bottom 10 in under center snaps. Stefanski's Cleveland offense typically ranked in the top 5 for being under center, makes the play action bootleg. Penix's strength at Washington nearly impossible for linebackers to read. This dude could and will be a dog if he possibly can get under center, dude. I'm excited to see if he can adapt. If Michael Penix can adapt to being under center, and if Michael Penix can stay healthy for multiple seasons or 10, be the Iron Man that Matt Ryan was after his second year in the league, if he can bounce back and play 10 years consistently, then we're talking about a quarterback that simply got the job done. And so that is something that I'm looking forward to and seeing. So, just continuing with that, personnel, 12 personnel power. Stefanski runs 12 personnel tight ends at one of the highest rates in the league. This is great news for Kyle Pitts and Charlie Warner. It forces the defense to stay in base personnel, slower linebackers, I meant to say, apologize. Slower linebackers instead of the nickel fast DBs, right? You have fast DBs on the field. A nickel, you have 5 DBs on the field versus having 4 DBs on the field and, 4 linebackers on the field or 3 linebackers on the field, and you have slower personnel. Granted, some of these linebackers do run, 4.4s, and they run the same speed as a corner, right? Especially when you have a corner like D. Alford, where he runs, I think, 4.5. And we can actually look that up. I haven't actually looked up D. Alford in a minute. We could look up D. Alford 40 time. Actually, D. Alford had a good day. He ran a 4.39. I actually thought D. Alford was a lot slower than what he's given credit for. That's actually very impressive. 4.39 as D. Alford. I don't know why. That makes me wonder why his speed rating on Madden is an 89. That's absolutely terrible. I don't understand how his speed rating is actually at 89. That actually bothers me, seeing that he runs a 4.39. I haven't ever looked that up, and I always thought that D. Alford was just slow. Come to find out, he runs a 4.39. Why is he in that situation of looking like he's slow. He's not slow. Um, I don't even. I have no words for that. I get he's 28, so there could be that factor, but he shouldn't be 89 speed. He's been 89 speed for what has been 3-4 years. Um, that they've underrated his speed terribly. Even in Mutt, they have his speed low, so that's frustrating. Anyways, um, we're not talking about Madden right now, unfortunately. Uh, cool. The Penix fit. While some analysts worry about Penix's fit, Stefanski's system is perfect for vertical crossers. These are routes that go for 15 and 20 yards. Penix led college football in accuracy on these specific intermediate throws. So, I do think that we are going to see a lot of situations where Michael Penix is going to excel in the system, and I think he definitely could. I know he's injured, but look, it starts in the film room, right? And that's something 92.9 a game said when Mike Johnson and Squid Billy Bo Morgan, both of them said that it starts in the film room, and they get the behind the scenes, and they know that these are true things, right? It's what you see, especially with a quarterback. It's behind the ears, it's your brain. It's what you see and how you continue to be successful in that sense. Um, Tom Brady brought up that, once he became, 38 to 40 years old, he said, I've seen everything that a defense will throw at you. He has the cheat sheet now, so to speak. He knows what to come. The pre snap reads are just as effective as actually reading the defense normally. And so that is what is important. And the fact for Michael Penix is, yes, he might be in his second year or going into his third year and coming off of an injury. Jordan Love sat for 3 years. So then I want to say it was 3 years he sat. Let's look. Let's see. Jordan Love, I want to say he sat for 3 years. Um, let's go to stats. So, games played 6. So he sat for 2 years. He sat for 2 years and then joined at his third year, and he went 32 touchdowns for 11 interceptions. Um, and then you go 25 for 11 and 23 for 6. Granted, he played, he missed 2 games in both of these years, leading to him having pedestrian numbers and passing yards. But at the end of the day, right, even with pedestrian passing yards, he threw for a significant amount of touchdowns. 25 touchdowns is nothing to snooze at, right? 32 touchdowns, definitely not anything to snooze at, and 23 touchdowns isn't to snooze at. If he plays those other 2 games and he throws 2 touchdowns in each of those games, you're looking at 27 and 25. It's one of those things, and maybe he throws 1 interception each. He's still looking at 27 and 12, 25 and 7. He's still having significantly good numbers, and that's something that I wanted to point out. We could go Michael Penix right now, and we can look at his stats. They also say that he's aiming to be coming back. Okay, can we not? Okay, I'm just gonna. All right, there. So Atlanta Falcons quarterback Michael Penix is optimistic he'll be ready for a 2026 season after suffering a season-ending ACL tear in November. So I will say, for us having our quarterback back, hopefully, I could see Michael Penix coming back anywhere from week 1 to week 3. I can see week 3 he comes back officially. And I can see that happening for sure when it comes to that. Uh, you know, he says, I'm super excited for it. For me, I look forward to being back week 1, but like I said, we'll see. I just got to do everything in my power to make sure that I'm ready for that. I mean, Michael Penix has been a stand up dude, and I truthfully believe that he could be that player. And again, everybody has injuries, man. I get he has an injury prone. He seems like he's been injury prone, but I mean, uh, you know, it is what it is. By the way, if we're just looking at going into the Super Bowl, just want to throw out some thoughts on the Super Bowl, and maybe we get into Super Bowl talk. Maybe I end this live stream here, and then I come back with another live stream about talking about the Super Bowl and what to expect and what these teams are looking at. And maybe we can get a live stream going there where we speak on New England and Seattle. Let me know if you guys want to see that. I appreciate the one viewer that did drop into the stream. Definitely really dope seeing that we have somebody that has dropped into the stream. For sure, it's been dope seeing that. Real quick. All right, cool. My bad, guys. Uh, just checking out that. Let's see latest news real quick. Let's see if there's anything else we can talk about. There's not a whole lot. I mean, there is a lot that Atlanta has been doing behind the scenes, but I'm just not going to continue to do that. Rams hiring Browns special teams coordinator. Bills bring Carmichael Jr. in as an offensive coordinator. And Baker Mayfield believes Mike Evans will return to Tampa in 2026. Mike Evans has been going through it here lately. Let's look at Super Bowl real quick. We might talk about the Super Bowl, man, and we might look at these factors that people are talking about. Maybe I just read to y'all what the factors are, and maybe speak on my experience with both of these teams because we've played both of them as Atlanta. We go into overtime against Drake May, and then we lose to Seattle. So, we went to overtime against Drake May, right? We did not go into overtime. We lost by a field goal. That's right. We lost by a field goal. I remember this. Hold on. Let's look at this real quick. Just to kind of get into this situation. By the way, Michael Penix 3 touchdowns. That was the 3 touchdown performance from Drake London. Golly, man. I want to say we could not run the ball. Yeah, we didn't run the ball very. We didn't run the ball very effectively. We won by we didn't win. Why am I saying we won? We didn't win, but we could. We essentially could have went into overtime. We didn't go into overtime though, and they threw they had 2 turnovers in this game, and we still lost. I mean, defensively played lights out. I guess not lights out. They went 8 for 12 on 3rd down. I guess we went 3 for 3 in the red zone. I don't know. I don't know really what happened in this game. I don't really remember too much on that. I do know that. No, we did. We went down the field, scored, and we missed the PAT. That was the day that we missed the PAT. And then we fired the kicker right after that, right? Yeah. Parker Romo misses the extra point. He missed the extra point, and that extra point was to put us into overtime, and we end up losing because of an extra point, making it a 9-point. Yeah, I do remember that. Okay, definitely remember that. Something else I could look at for y'all. Wow, I got y'all here. I mean, there's nothing really going on. Yeah, let's go Pro Bowl. I did not mean to go to tickets. I meant to go. All right, let's see. We'll go NFC, and then we'll look at AFC. So Pro Bowl roster: Matt Stafford, Dak Prescott, Sam Darnold, Puka, Jackson Smith and Jigba, George Pickens, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan. So there's one Atlanta Falcon there. Chris Lyncham, there's two. It's crazy. Drew Dahlman ends up getting in here. We let him go. But it's crazy. The center that we used to have could have been here. So, cool. We'll go to defense. Aiden Hutchinson, Michael Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Jalen Carter, Leonard Williams, Quinnen Williams, Brian Burns. That dude's a dog. Jared Verse, Byron Young, Jack Campbell, Zach Bond, J.C. Horn, Devin Witherspoon, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Kevin Byard, Anton Winfield, and Buda Baker. We'll look at the AFC roster real quick, and then after that, I will end this stream, and we will see whether or not you guys want to talk more on the roster later on down the road. It's cool. Appreciate everybody dropping into the stream. If you guys do want more content, let me know, and I will continue to bring more content like this to you. If not, it's okay. I'm going to end up probably streaming about this every once in a while anyways, just talking about Atlanta Falcons and seeing whether or not you guys support, speaking on Atlanta Falcons or not. And that's okay. It's 100% okay. Appreciate y'all. Anyways, let's get into this. Josh Allen, Drake May, Justin Herbert, Jamar Chase, Nico Collins, Zay Flowers, Cortland Sutton, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Devon Achane, Patrick Ricard, Brock Bowers, Travis Kelce, Deion Dawkins, Garrett Bowles, Joe Alt, Quinyon Miners. Oh, Lord, dude. Quinnen Miners. And then Quentin Nelson, Trey Smith, and Creed Humphrey with Tyler Linderbaum at the backup center. A few of these cats ruled out. I'm pretty sure Drake May or Justin Herbert ruled out of this. Yeah, I think one of those two ruled out of this because somehow they got Shedeur Sanders in there. And I'm not a Shedeur hater. I actually was rooting for him. You want the kid to succeed. I don't ever root for somebody's downfall unless it's in my division. Anyways, Myles Garrett, Will Anderson, Max Crosby, Jeffrey Simmons, Chris Jones, Zach Allen, Nick Benito, TJ Watt, Tule. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. Roquan Smith, Aziz Ojolari. No, Aziz Al-Shire. Apologize. Derek Stingley Jr., Patrick Surtain, Christian Gonzalez, Denzel Ward, Jalen Ramsey, Kyle Hamilton, and Derwin James. They put Jalen Ramsey at free safety. Is he a free safety now? No, he's playing corner. They just somehow got him into that role. Cool, I guess. Interestingly enough, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. You know what? We might end up speaking about this one. But make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you guys have enjoyed the content. I am going to be bringing you guys more content later on down the line. I appreciate everybody dropping into the stream. We will end up bringing, this back into the content in general. Again, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me and just listening to me speak. It's cool to have that, and we will go from this to going to. We'll go from doing this to probably talking about the Super Bowl. Maybe I'll do it this week or next week. Maybe I'll do it today. I don't know. But stay tuned. Appreciate everybody, and make sure to like button, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, guys. Love God. Love yourself, guys. Peace.